problems? Okay, so one by one we will discuss these questions. Okay, oh, any queries if you have in any of the questions? If you have any queries, children, then you can tell me. Although one of you will read the question paper in sequence, एक एक करके sequence में आप question paper read करोगे, and then we will have the revision. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
All of you have tried yourself first?
Yes, ma'am.
Tried?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then Ananya, you take the responsibility because I will not be able to manage in one mobile. Or you all wait. Just wait 1 minute. Okay. Chalo. Let's now one by one, so that all those who are not knowing the answer also, they can come to know the exact correct answer. Clear? First question was, what type of combustion is represented by ignition of a cracker? One by one, all of you will participate. Ananya, tell the answer.
Explosive
First
combustion. Explosive combustion.
Explosive combustion. Okay. Those who have any queries or questions, or those who are confused, they will note down the correct answer. Name the unit in which the calorific value of a fuel is expressed. Sarah?
Kilojoules.
Okay.
Kilojoule per kg.
Second question. Shubh Narayan?
Yes, ma'am.
Shubh Narayan, a synthetic polymer X can be used as a substitute for wool for making sweaters and shawl, etc. Identify X.
Ma'am, acrylon.
Acrylon is the correct answer, children.
Yes,
You all
ma'am.
will say.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
चलो आप ही लोग बताइएगा तब हम आगे बढ़ेंगे. Then next question, Navya.
Yes, ma'am.
Terylene is used for making sails for boats and for making raincoats. Why? 2 points.
Terylene is used for making sails for boats and for making raincoats because it is highly elastic, durable, wrinkle resistant and moth resistant, and it does not absorb water and is very strong.
Okay.
Correct.
Next. Is it correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Shreya Mitra. Are you there, Shreya?
Yes, ma'am.
Bolo. State relationship between refractive index and the speed of light.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Just a moment. The relationship between refractive index and speed of light are the refractive index is the relationship between the speed of light and the speed at which the light travels.
Then what is the relationship? Tell the relationship.
Relationship
bolo.
is the relationship is that this it is the between the speed of light and the speed at which the light travels.
और कोई? Prince?
May I?
Prince.
Prince.
ठीक है, सबको मिलेगा चांस, अभी रुक जाओ. Prince, can you explain more? Refractive index and
Yes,
speed
left.
of light. हाँ बोलो. Anybody else?
I'm Shubh Narayan.
Shubh Narayan, बोलो.
Ananya.
Inversely proportional.
Inversely proportional. ठीक है? Correct. Next is at what position of the object does a convex lens act as a magnifying glass? Raghuveer Ranjan, are you there? Raghuveer?
Yes, ma'am.
Bolo.
Convex.
At what position it is telling? At what position of the object does a convex lens act as a magnifying glass?
At F.
At what position? Means where will be the object, then it will behave like a magnifying glass.
Point F.
Huh?
Ma'am, can I, Ankita?
हाँ बोलो.
Ma'am, between F and O, optic.
हाँ, between optical center and F. You see that the magnified image is formed and it is virtual and erect also. So it will be between, when the object will be between optical center and F point. Then next, if we try to hold a glass with oil on your hands, it tends to slip. Why? Aditya Raj.
Yes, ma'am. If because the layer of oil came between our hand and the friction, oil get filled in the friction. That's why the glass gets slipped with our hand.
Once again, Aditya, एक बार और बोलिए आप.
Ma'am, please repeat the question.
If you try to hold a glass with oil on your hand, it tends to slip. Why?
Because the layer of oil came between our hand and the friction, and the oil and the friction get filled with the oil. That's why the interlocking doesn't take place and the glass will slip by our hand.
Ma'am,
One point that you are telling, although the actual
ma'am, we can also
region
write
is
that oil
correct,
is a
finally.
lubricant here.
Oil is acting as a lubricant which is reducing friction. Clear? So
Hence, our
don't say
hand is
that
not
oil
able
is
to grip
coming
the
between
glass.
the layer and the friction. No, between the two layers of contact, you will say. It is acting as a lubrication. That is correct. Your answer is coming to the point, but in between you are missing something. ठीक है? चलो. Appropriate बोलो तो कोई भी. Anupriya.
Ma'am,
Ma'am.
You just explain
Ma'am,
it forward
Kavish.
to the point.
Ma'am, Kavish.
Ma'am.
After Anupriya.
Yes,
If
ma'am.
you try
If
to
we
hold
try
a
to
glass with oil on your hand, it tends to slip. Why?
if we try to hold a glass with oil on our hands, it tends to slip. It happens because friction depends upon the nature of the area upon which it acts, and here the area is slippery. Due to this, friction becomes less and it tends to slip.
No. Nature
Ma'am,
of
may
area,
I?
area, it
Ananya.
doesn't depend at all.
Ma'am Kavish. Ma'am Prince
Kavish,
what?
बोलिए.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, oil acts as a lubricant in between the glass and our hand. This reduces the friction
हाँ.
or the
Ma'am,
interlocking of
you
the.
हाँ. एक और कोई बोलो.
Ma'am
ma'am,
Ananya.
यशवी.
ma'am Navya.
Yes,
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
यशवी राय.
Yes, ma'am. When we put the oil in our hand, the interlocking between our hands and the glass is filled with oil, and it acts as a lubricant. That's why when we hold a glass with the oily hand, it tends to slip and the friction reduces.
हाँ ठीक है. Okay. Now next. Suggest how one can reduce friction while playing carom. Srijan Sharan. Srijan.
Ma'am, may I, Vashvi?
Wait a minute. Srijan Sharan, I am asking. And I want all of you to participate in the class. Raghuveer Ranjan.
Yes, ma'am.
Bolo.
And repeat question.
Suggest how one can reduce friction while playing carom.
Using powder.
Aditya.
Yes, ma'am. We
Bolo.
can reduce friction. With the help of a talcum powder. When we split the talcum powder on the carom, the friction, the talcum
Carom board.
powder take carom board. The talcum powder get interlock in the friction. That's why the smooth movement of the carom takes place.
Okay, ठीक है. Next. Aditi Priya. Aditi Priya. Response quickly. Aditi Priya. बोलिए. It is easier to move a box on wheels instead of pushing it as such on the floor. Why?
Ma'am, फिर से एक बार
सुनो ध्यान से सुनो.
मैम वो आवाज थोड़ी
It is easier to move a box on wheels instead of pushing it as such on the floor. Why? If you all will take so much of time, that means you all have not prepared.
Ma'am, can I?
Yes, Prince, bolo.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, because the rolling friction between the wheel and the ground is less than the sliding friction. So we can say that the wheel is instinct of pushing it easier than the a box on a floor. Pushing a box on the
It is
floor.
easier for the wheels to.
Ma'am, one more
wheels-
point can be added.
Pardon?
it does not take too much time to interlock between the floor.
That point is also
we
there.
will-
That when
So we
when
will
a box is
less force in overcoming the friction.
तो एक बार बोलो, explain करो नव्या.
The roughness of the two surfaces will not get much time to get interlocked to each other in rolling friction.
ठीक. Next will be turn of Sara. Name one liquid and one semi-liquid lubricant.
Ma'am, semi-liquid is grease and liquid is oil.
Okay. Ananya, state the cause of conductivity of liquids.
Ma'am, which question?
State the cause of conductivity of liquids.
Ma'am, I don't have that question as 8.
Oh, that I have not given you. अच्छा
Ma'am,
ठीक है,
Yes,
चलो
ma'am.
but the
इसको
answer,
omit कर
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
may I?
state the
अच्छा
ma'am,
लेकिन
movement
इसको
of
लिख
I.
सकते
Ma'am, it
हो,
is-
आप लोग नोट कर लो,
Yes, ma'am.
नोट कर लो,
Ma'am,
लेकिन
it is-
जिसको अगर पता है आंसर वो बता सकता है.
Ma'am, due to
The
movement of
liquid
ion.
can
what is
conduct
the
electricity
movement of
because it
Because of the free movement of the
ion.
mobile ions.
Okay. Yes. Due to the free movement of the mobile ions. Next. लेकिन just if I have missed this question, you just note it down. State the cause of conductivity of liquids. Clear?
Okay, ma'am.
Next question. I think this might also I have missed. So इसको भी एक बार ध्यान से सुनो, जिसको पता होगा वो आंसर करेगा. Although we have just revised those chapters, लेकिन देख लो एक बार. Acidified water is electrolyzed by using two graphite pencils as electrodes. What is produced at positive graphite electrode and negative graphite electrode? क्या
Ma'am.
produce?
oxygen will be at
Oxygen bubble.
On the anode and
positive terminal and
Ma'am, what is the
negative
electrolyte?
terminal
Hydrogen bubbles
hydrogen
on
will be
that.
Will be
bubbles will be formed.
hydrogen bubbles on the
One
cathode.
by one. एक आदमी
Ma'am.
बोलो, प्रिंस बोलो, पॉजिटिव पे क्या प्रोड्यूस होगा?
Yes, ma'am. Positive in a positive oxygen is produced, and in a negative the hydrogen are produced.
Okay, correct?
Bubbles.
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ चलो इसको भी नोट करिए आप लोग. Acidified water is electrolyzed by using two graphite pencils. Acidified water is electrolyzed by using two graphite pencils as electrodes. What is produced at positive graphite electrode and negative graphite electrode? Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
चलो next question.
रिकॉर्डिंग बंद कर दो ऊपर से.
State the.
नहीं हुआ बस बात खाली.
Now don't discuss here,
क्लाइंट
children.
ने दिया.
Virat Kashyap, mute your mic. State the causative microorganism and mode of transmission of cholera disease. Shreya Mitra.
Yes, ma'am. The causative microorganism is bacteria and the mode of transmission is soil or by consuming food that are not cleaned properly and by wounds.
Ma'am, it is caused by contaminated water.
It is
Yes,
caused by contaminated water, not soil. Cholera is not caused by soil.
Tetanus is caused.
Water.
Tetanus is caused by
Tetanus is caused by soil.
Tetanus is caused by soil. Coming in contact with
Ah.
soil.
So write the correct answer, Shreya. Rectify it. Now next is, Riya thought of making curd. For this she took lukewarm milk, mixed some curd into it and stirred well. She kept the mixture in fridge or refrigerator. Next day she observed that the curd was not set. Why the curd didn't set?
Ma'am,
Anupriya.
I had a problem in this question.
Yes, ma'am. The
Anupriya,
curd was. Yes, ma'am.
you are not knowing the answer.
Ma'am, I know the answer.
Then tell. किसको problem था?
Ma'am, I didn't understand the question.
नव्या, हाँ बोलो क्या problem
Yes,
है
ma'am.
इसमें?
मैम इसमें सारा कंडीशन तो है, मैम फिर भी कर्ड सेट नहीं किया.
फ्रिज में
रखोगे तो set
रखा
कर
गया
जाएगा।
था।
फ्रिज में रखा था. बैक्टीरिया कैन नॉट एक्ट.
फ्रिज में रखना
फ्रिज
है
में
ना?
रखा था appropriate.
पाया.
तो फ्रिज में टेम्परेचर क्या हो जाएगा? लेस हो जाएगा ना?
लो.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
हाँ, low temperature. That is why it is not setting. Because curd requires that bacterial growth requires adequate amount of temperature also. That is the reason. ठीक है?
Okay, ma'am.
Although I said Anupriya to answer. बोलो.
Yes, ma'am.
अपने word में
The curd was not said because the bacteria which is present in the formation of curd, that is lactobacillus bacteria, it multiplies in the milk at favorable temperature, that is 35 degree to 40 degree, and here the curd was kept in the fridge where the temperature is very less, due to which the curd was not set.
Okay, correct. Yashvi,
Yes, ma'am.
you tell me the definition of antibiotics.
The medicine which are made to inhibit or to restrict the growth of microorganisms like bacteria.
Okay.
Affecting their life processes.
Okay. ठीक है. Then after that, Astha. Astha 8F, are you there? Adarsh Ranjan 8G. You all just join the class and you all go to sleep. Adnan.
Yes, ma'am.
You give me 2 examples of viral disease which spread through air.
Tuberculosis and common cold.
ठीक है. Correct. So be connected, children. All of you, I just want all of you to participate.
Ma'am,
Bhavna Thakur.
Ma'am, tuberculosis is caused by bacteria.
But its mode of transmission is air, Ananya.
Mode of transmission is air.
Ma'am, it is asked about viral disease in the question.
तो influenza लिख दो.
Yes, ma'am. The answer will be influenza and common cold. Yes, ma'am.
Common cold तो correct था. अच्छा ठीक
Ma'am,
है.
swine flu can also be the answer. Ma'am, swine flu.
Influenza and common cold.
Swine flu is also
Influenza and common cold. Or you can say COVID. Viral में COVID बोलो ना.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
हमेशा याद रखो, अभी जिससे हम लोग जिस डिजीज से सफर कर रहे हैं वो वायरल है, तो वायरल में कोई दिक्कत ही नहीं है. वायरल में तो कोविड याद रखिए. ठीक है?
Okay, ma'am.
Next is Piyush Rajesh ji. Piyush, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Piyush Raj is not responding. Pranshu
Yes,
Ranjan.
ma'am.
प्रांशु, कौन बोल रहा है, प्रांशु या पीयूष? पीयूष बोलिए. Give any one example of an organism belonging to the external fertilization and external development category.
Frog.
External fertilization and external development.
Frog.
आवाज क्यों नहीं आ रही है?
Frog, ma'am.
Ma'am, your voice is not coming.
You are not audible, ma'am.
Children, you can hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah. Give one example of an organism belonging to the external fertilization and external development category.
Frog.
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 And
Next question number 14 according to this. Assertion is we can boil water in a paper cup on a spirit lamp. Reason, heat given to paper cup passes on to the water and the ignition temperature of paper is achieved. Is this assertion correct?
No, ma'am.
Reasoning correct?
No,
Huh?
reasoning
ma'am,
is
reasoning is not
ma'am,
correct, but
ma'am,
assertion
Yes,
is
ma'am.
correct.
Reasoning is not correct.
reasoning is not correct.
Assertion is correct, but
assertion
reasoning is not
correct.
correct.
Exertion is correct. Reasoning is not correct.
Okay, then one of you, Ananya, बोलो इसको correct करो.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, can you please repeat the question once again?
Assertion is we can boil water in a paper cup on a spirit lamp. And
The assertion is correct because we can boil the water in a paper cup because the heat energy passed on the paper cup gets transferred to the paper, and the ignition temperature of the paper cup is then
Not
becomes
achieved.
greater, and hence it is not achieved. Hence the assertion is correct, but the reason is not correct.
reason is heat given to paper cup passes to water and the ignition temperature of paper is achieved. The second part is not correct. So, Kavish, you just explain it properly.
Ma'am, please repeat the question.
Question is, assertion is we can boil water in a paper cup on a spirit lamp. But reasoning it has given that heat given to paper cup passes into water and the ignition temperature of paper is achieved.
Ma'am, in this assertion is right and reason is wrong because ma'am
Then why it is wrong? That what I'm asking.
Ma'am, because the heat heat of the paper cup passes to the water which boils it, and ma'am reason is wrong because the heat is passed to the water, not to the paper cup, and
Okay.
that's why the ignition temperature of the paper cups becomes more.
अच्छा, नव्या आप एक बार और explain करो.
Yes, ma'am. We can boil water in a paper cup because when we boil the water in that paper cup, the heat passes on to the water and the ignition temperature of the paper cup is not achieved. Hence, the paper cup doesn't catches fire.
हाँ, ठीक है. Because the heat is transferred to the
water.
Okay. Now next, question number 15. One more assertion and reasoning question. Assertion is budding in hydra is considered as asexual reproduction. Reasoning is in budding only one parent is involved. Who can give the correct? Okay, Sara or
Ma'am,
Subnarayan,
could you
koi
please
Yes, ma'am.
repeat the question?
Ma'am, both are correct.
Will you please repeat the question?
Both the assertion and the reasoning are correct,
Both
and
the assertion and
reasoning
reason
is the
are correct.
true
Both are
explanation of
correct.
assertion.
Question suno, budding in hydra is considered as asexual reproduction, and reasoning is in budding only one parent is involved. This was the question. So you have given that both are correct.
Both assertion and reasoning is correct.
Assertion and reasoning is correct because
explanation of
budding
the
is a type of
Ma'am, assertion is not correct because hydra undergoes
Budding.
हाँ, तो budding in height is considered
ma'am.
as asexual reproduction.
Sorry,
तो ये तो
ma'am,
सही है।
sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
I read it
ये तो
binding.
सही है।
Sorry, ma'am.
क्या wrong है?
ध्यान से पढ़ा करो.
और एक ही पेरेंट उसमें इन्वॉल्व होता है। सेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन में दोनों पेरेंट इन्वॉल्व तो होते नहीं है, ठीक है?
Yes, ma'am.
So both are correct, so you don't have to explain it in reasoning. Now one more question is there. Assertion is, in sexual reproduction, young ones are genetically identical to the parents. Reasoning is, in sexual reproduction, zygote contains the nuclear part of the sperm and of the egg.
Ma'am, assertion
Who is
is
going
wrong,
Assertion
but
is not
reasoning is correct because
False,
in
but
asexual
Assertion
reproduction,
is wrong, but reasoning is correct.
Assertion is wrong, reasoning is correct.
yes, ma'am.
So if the assertion is wrong,
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, assertion is wrong.
Yes, ma'am.
Because the young ones so formed are not genetically identical to parents as in the asexual reproduction.
young ones are genetically identical to their parents. This is your assertion.
Yes, ma'am, this is false.
Yes, ma'am. This is
Yes,
false.
ma'am, but they are not genetically identical.
Ma'am, the young ones so formed are genetically identical to their parents in asexual reproduction.
ठीक है, चलो. Next one more question regarding assertion and reasoning. अभी और है थोड़ा सा आपके पास. Assertion: a higher concentration of salt is used in the preservation of raw mangoes in pickling. Reason is, salt reduces the water content and make it unavailable for the growth of microorganisms.
Ma'am, both assertion and reasoning is correct.
Both are correct.
But reasoning is correct.
Because salt and sugar can be used as a preservative.
Okay. चलो नेक्स्ट उसके बाद क्या है क्वेश्चन. एक मिनट रुक जाओ. दिस वॉज योर क्वेश्चन नंबर 16 था ये. अब आ जाइए नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन पे. ये आप लोग को बेटा थोड़ा सा पैराग्राफ रीडिंग टाइप है, तो ये आप लोग कर लेना, ठीक है? आप लोग को जो
Yes, ma'am.
भेजे हैं ना क्वेश्चन नंबर 17, ये
Yes,
आप लोग
ma'am.
अपनी कॉपी में बना के फिर उनको व्हाट्सएप पे ही भेज देना, ठीक है? इसको कर लीजिएगा. फिर नेक्स्ट है क्वेश्चन नंबर 17 to 20 पैराग्राफ टाइप है. ये आपको अभी नहीं हो पाएगा. वैसे अगर पैराग्राफ रीड आउट हो जाएगा तो फिर कर सकते हो तुम. एक मिनट, थोड़ा लार्ज है अभी. चलो हम लोग दूसरा क्वेश्चंस करते हैं. इसको आप लोग खुद से बना के देख लीजिएगा. करेक्ट आंसर हम लोग डिस्कस कर लेंगे बाद में. क्वेश्चन नंबर 20 है, सीता एंड गीता आर बेस्ट फ्रेंड्स and study in class 8. Geeta is facing difficulty in reading book, but she can see blackboard from last desk clearly. I think it is related to your human eye. Sita came to know that Geeta avoids milk and green vegetables. She started sharing her lunch full of green vegetables and fruits with Geeta. Geeta is now better and she has started taking a balanced diet. Now, the eye defect from which Geeta is suffering will be
Myopia.
Hypermetropia.
Hypermetropia.
He is able to see the far objects clearly, but not the near objects.
Or nearsightedness.
Sorry, she is
now
able.
option is given.